Verse 37. This proposal pleased Pharaoh and all his servants. Remember some from the previous verses, Joseph saying, okay, what we need to do is 20% of everything, keep every year back, store it up in the cities so that we have food for the lean years. Put someone to take care of that and others underneath, below him. And that was the advice, kind of what Joseph gave, although no one asked him for any advice, right? And but it pleased Pharaoh, and it pleased. If it's going to please Pharaoh, then it pleases the servants as well. Verse 38. And Pharaoh said to his servants, "Can we find a man like this, in whom is the Spirit of God?" So, like this kind of rhetorical question. Why? Because here's a guy who just kind of told them what they're supposed to do, who understands what needs to be done. So, where can we find a wise man? You already asked all these magicians, all these wise men, the meaning of the dream. They could not explain to him the meaning of the dream. So here is a guy who could explain to him the meaning of the dream. So where can we find a man in whom is the Spirit of God? That does not mean to imply here that Pharaoh here believed in the Holy Spirit, right? Or Pharaoh believed in God, okay? Moses writing this down, Moses knows this. Pharaoh would have meant he's God's, okay? The Spirit of God, kind of, right? Okay, so Moses is understandably here, let's say redacting or whatever, but he's doing it, stating it because he knows, he understands. Other gods are non-gods. So the spirit of the Ra in Joseph is not going to give any answers. The spirits of Ra were in the other people, in the magicians, but they couldn't give an answer to Pharaoh and his dreams. So in other words, that didn't work out well, and therefore Moses and the people to whom he's writing it understands it. Although Pharaoh most likely Pharaoh would not have been speaking of God, Yahweh here, because even anyhow God hasn't given his name to Moses yet. Verse 39. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Since God has shown you all this, there is none so discerning and wise as you are." Okay, so Pharaoh here, okay, he understands. God showed, the magicians couldn't help, the wise men couldn't help. Joseph could. And Joseph said it's because of God, not because of himself, not because he's so intelligent or he's a magician or whatever. He gave all the glory and honor to God immediately before he even said anything else or give any explanation. So yes, Pharaoh is saying, so where can we find this guy? And since God has shown you this, maybe you are the guy. Maybe not maybe you are the guy. You are the guy. Verse 14. You shall be over my house, and all my people shall order themselves as you command. Only as regards the throne will I be greater than you. So he's saying, so you will be the one. I put you above all. All will be under your command. All will all do as you order them. Only the throne will be greater. Because of the throne, I will be greater than you. Understand me, you're Pharaoh, you will still stay Pharaoh. So you're not going to become Pharaoh, but you are second in command. Basically, that's what he's saying. No one will be. Everybody must do what you say. Okay. Verse 41. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, "See, I have set you over all the land of Egypt." Okay? So not just part of the land of Egypt, all the land of Egypt. Verse 42. Then Pharaoh took his signet ring from his hand and put it in Joseph's hand and clothed him in garments of fine linen and put a gold chain about his neck. Now, okay, so he's taking his signet ring, so putting on Joseph. So that shows now the authority that he's giving to Joseph. So with the ring, now he can stamp documents, etc. He has that power, okay? He has his authority. He put in this clothes of fine linen on him, and a gold chain around his neck. So the most important part, understandably, the ring would have been the more important part. The others is just, clothes. You can get other clothes and other gold chains kind of idea, okay? This is not like a gold chain the mayor of a town will wear or something like that. At least if it was, and we don't know if that it was, because it's not stated. Verse 43. And he made him ride in his second chariot, and they called out before him, bow the knee. Thus he set him all over all the land of Egypt. So it's a little bit like Air Force 2, I think. Do you have in America? You have Air Force 1, the Boeing. That's now all in the news. With this guy from NBC asking Trump the other day when he was meeting with Ramaphosa about the Air Force Qatar giving him a plane, so the Air Force One. After seeing people being killed, etc. Right? Yeah, the leftist media trust him. No hearts, no compassion. Although they cry, we have compassion. They don't have. So to get back to this, so like the second chariot, right? There's the Air Force One in America, and then there's, as far as I know, there's the Air Force Two for the vice president. Okay, so in this case, he's giving him a second chariot. Right? So this idea of a first chariot and a second chariot of Air Force One and Air Force Two kind of idea, you know, it's it's an old thing. Okay, and as well, what they had to do, they called out as wherever Joseph went, they need to bow the knee before him. And just imagine a slave, a Hebrew slave, turned into where Potiphar's wife, being cried, bow the knee before him. I guess that would have been something for her. But I'm pretty sure she would have been worried more that he might kill her or execute her for what she did to him. So he was set over all the land of Egypt. Verse 44. Moreover, Pharaoh said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without your consent no one shall lift up hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. So saying, I am Pharaoh, meaning I'm Pharaoh, right? And I give you now the authority. No one here, without your consent, shall lift up a hand or foot. So you are in absolute control of everything here. Hand, foot, they can't even lift their hand or their foot. Like, my whole country become now enslaved to you. Okay? We at the Hebrew slave become like where everybody now needs to bow before him, and they are not allowed to even lift up their hand and their feet. This is how God turned everything 180 degrees around. Yeah, not 360, because 360 you're just going back in the same direction. No, sorry, 360, because 180 you go straight line, 360 you come back in the direction you came in. Okay, but this is not the end of it. Verse 45. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphenath-Paneah, and he gave him in marriage Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. So Joseph went out over the land of Egypt. So he changed his name, which, you know, kind of normal, because people might have been struggling with saying the name Joseph, or it may be like, no, this is not the native. I mean, that's kind of normal. I mean, people change names when they go to other countries, not because, like I already mentioned a number of times, I need to change my name here, or at least use just part of my name, because people can't pronounce my name. So in that case as well, maybe, you know, this is something as well showing who Joseph is and that honor that he gives. And then he provides a wife as well, not Potiphar's wife, but another wife. And there's this priest of On, so very important God, a very important man, therefore, in the country. So he's kind of in a certain sense marrying, kind of say, royalty, sort of, not fully royalty, but very important. And so Joseph went out over the land of Egypt. So now he's married and he is in control of everything. His signet ring is all. Joseph is now the boss, and they need to bow before him, and they're not even allowed to lift a hand or feet if he doesn't allow for it or say so.